the Psychology of Things with Alex Boyo. And here we discuss the psychology of everything. I love men. Since I was born, I have loved men. And that basically is just, I'm a daddy's girl. I love men because of what I had seen from my dad. And I have a lot of male friends around me. And having conversations with this, humans, these wonderful people, has basically opened my eyes to understanding that there's so much things that's happening in the man's head. We have several responsibilities that's been thrown to men, from being protectors to being providers, to being everything you can think about. Women want men to be everything. But can they actually be everything? Do they have the capacity to be everything? To be or not to be a man? That is a conversation that we're having today. And joining me today is beautiful and amazing queens who have done diverse things in different aspects of their career. I have Titi Oyinsan, aka Titi the Dynamite. She is a television personality with over 6 million viewers on her daily show. Oh my goodness, 6 million people watching you every day. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
I also have Lynda, who is a marketing professional and has done several amazing marketing activities and marketing adverts. In fact, I don't even want to be the one to, start announcing her, ringing her bell. However, they have both joined me today. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming in. So, Lynda, tell me, with everything that you've experienced with men, is either, I don't know if they've shown you shege. But with everything you've experienced with men, would you actually like to come back as a man?
No. No.
Why?
I actually love being a woman.
Okay.
I love being a lady.
Okay.
I love dressing up. I love wearing jewelry.
All right.
I like making my hair. I love getting my nails done. I love shopping. I just like that whole feminism, that comes to being a woman, that sassiness, that beauty, that gorgeousness, that intelligence, and I don't know, I can't even imagine myself being a man, to be honest. I just love being a woman. And I love being taken care of. Let me just put it that way. I love being taken care of. I love being taken care of.
I would actually like to ask more questions regarding that and why. But let me throw it to Titi. With everything you know.
I kind of feel like being a man would be a break.
Ooh.
Being a woman is work. It's a lot of work. It's work. It's a hard. You have to just wait to be spoken to before you can speak in many cases.
Okay.
Time of the month comes every single month. You are literally looking at the calendar like, I can't wear that white dress tomorrow.
Right.
Why? Childbirth? Hello?
Another one.
No.
Okay.
I would love to come back as a guy. Yeah.
And it's because of all the experiences that women have. So with all that men go through, you still want to come back as a man.
Yeah, but I feel like there are ways to work around those things. There are just a lot of things that women go through that there's no work around. If you're on your period, you're on your period. Forget it. If you're having PMS there. There's nothing you can do about it. But I feel like men get away with some things that women just can't get away with. And maybe we'll dive into that a little later on.
I mean, but for you're talking about the fact that men are, able to get away with a lot of other things and women have to go through so much.
Yeah.
But Lynda is coming from the angle of women. The life is soft, the whole femininity,
baby girl,
receiving, baby girl
all the way, taken care of all the way. And, just to piggyback on what she said, yes, I understand that women go through a lot. But we have the gift of men, good men, who take care of us while we're going through all that. And keyword, good men. So I mean, what's a baby girl life when you're going through all those things and you don't have somebody just calling you and saying sorry, or even someone sitting by your side saying sorry,
Wait,
so
which neighborhood do you live in? I need to come and live in your zone.
No, that's why I said good men.
Good men you're finding.
Mean, like they say, good men are hard to find or hard to keep, but they shall exist though. I know they exist. So just having those kind of people take care of you and acknowledge that as a woman, you're actually going through all of these things and you just need some kind of support, that just even makes it more enjoyable to be a woman.
But I mean, you said good men. What does it mean to be a good man? Because for me, I know that there are different aspects of lives, and as a human, because a man is a human being as well as a
Yeah.
woman,
Yeah.
and you have to choose to do certain things and choose not to do certain things. So where's the balance that makes the man a good man? What's that thing that makes him a good man? What are the activities, what are the qualities that makes him a good man?
Okay, so first of all, he has to be, without sounding too cliche and too spiritual, he has to be God fearing, to be honest.
Yes.
To be really, really, really honest,
Okay.
right? That's the foundation. Now, he also has to be very caring. I mean, the things we just spoke about it only takes a man who's very caring to find out or understand what his girl is going through at every point in time. So
Yeah.
he has to be God fearing, he has to be caring, and then he has to have means.
Oh, wow.
Do you understand? Because sometimes
There we go.
most of all these things are activated by your access to means. I mean, if you want to say sorry to your babe and she's having a headache or she's having PMS or whatever, just to spice it up a bit, you can send flowers, or you can,
Titi,
Titi, I mean, it's not compulsory,
right?
Don't get me wrong, it's not compulsory. If you have it, fine. If you don't have it, there are other ways to still show that you care, before people come from my
But
head.
based on the happiness, right, and the means you're talking about, Titi, you are, I mean, I'm happy that you're tilting from the opposite angle that these men are capable. So when it comes to the means, what is the mental capacity that the man has to put himself into to ensure that he's able to get those means?
So now having the means he has the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of God. You talked about him being godly. So if I'm coming back as a man, definitely I want to be back here as a godly person, a godly man. But the thing is, there are just some things that men have been able to push out into the world, achieve in terms of, inventing things, putting together structures, going into politics, being able to lead countries. There are still very few countries that would allow a woman be president. I just feel like there are just some windows of opportunity that have been given to men that women are still fighting for till now. So that fight, man, I don't know. I'm already exhausted from my own small corner of the world. If I was to come back, I would like, come back as a man so that, those windows of opportunity are a little wider for me.
Yeah.
Then there was something else you said. You said good man. But I actually feel like coming back, I would like to come back as a bad guy.
Ooh.
You know why?
Right.
Why?
Because bad guys just seem to get things done. They're not always liked, but did we really come to this world to be liked by everyone? Or did we come here to live the fullest life? I don't feel like everyone that came to this world to be successful is going to be liked. The biggest CEOs are not really liked. Look at Elon Musk. He's one of the biggest billionaires all over the world, but people don't actually like him.
Right.
But he's not here to be liked. He's here to do business. He's here to get things done. And he's doing it. And he's successful. And he's rich. And he's married. And he has family. And his mother is fine. As in, like, hello, maybe come back as a bad guy. All these goody two shoes, ladylike, wear skirts today, smile.
But I mean,
greet people, kneel down and greet. I beg.
Okay, Titi, I hear you very well. But I mean, I'd just like to know, do you think it's still a man's world in this day and age with everything going on, with the whole pressure, with everything? Just tell me, do you think it's still a man's world?
So it's interesting you would ask that because yes, women are achieving, they're breaking glass ceilings everywhere. But still, it just feels like men get bigger windows of opportunity in certain areas. I think it's going to take a little while for women to get there. Not that we won't get there, but there's also a book I read. I think it's Steve Harvey that put that book together. Think like a man. Well, we're not saying act like a man. Act like a woman, act like a lady, but think like a man. How would a man process things? That's the angle I'm really coming from. Yeah.
Okay, so I hear it today. I mean, this is fantastic. But Lynda, please tell me, what do you think? I'd like to hear your views.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree with her. Honestly, it's still a man's world. I mean, there are still some places women aren't given access to by virtue of her being a woman. There's still the will I call it the female objectivity right? Where women are being considered and seen as objects and stuff like that, even in 2023, right? So yeah, it's still a man's world. There are some people, who would not attribute a woman's success to her hustle, her brain, her intellect, and everything. It's all still tied to, oh, she has this guy who's helping her, who she's whatever with, and everything. I mean, people don't still see women, unfortunately, in 2023 as women who are whole and can do things by themselves, for themselves, from start to finish. So from that angle, yes, it's still a man's world. Unfortunately, there's some certain things that women men get away with, right, in our society today, that women can't even try,
Right.
So
So for me, I remember growing up in the house with my dad. I got close to my dad from when I was 8. And typically as a first girl, you understand how daddy would always want to carry you and all of that. But unfortunately, I don't even want to call it unfortunately, but at the time, the type of responsibility that he was throwing on me, it was too much, because I was sort of like his therapist at that age. And the reason why I say therapist was because he kept having conversations with me regarding different areas of his life that didn't make sense. And for me, I just started understanding, oh my God, this is not as easy as we thought at that young age. Imagine receiving salary and coming home, dividing the salary into two and giving me half of the money to hold, and he holds half. Because he knows that by the time I hold all this money, it will finish before the end of the month. So there's too much, I feel like there's too much pressure that the man has to go through in order to ensure that he's making a living. And the process of making a living involves, finding yourself as a young adult, finding someone and getting married and having kids, and then growing up to become, the person that you dream to be. You see that entire journey, so many things happen in between. And these things are the kind of things that will shape a man to become, bigger or stronger and better. So a man that you talked about the means. So if this human of a man does not have, the control of understanding the journey of life and handling because there's a lot of issues that happens with men, mostly when it comes to life.
Yeah.
I mean, let's assume now that in school, he has his peers who are female, and it's easy for the girls to, get money from people that like her or do other things. It's easy. Her parents are still sending her money. But once you're grown, the boy is being sent out of the house to go and, make a living and go and fend for himself. So there's a lot of pressure that comes with all of that, right? So for me, I mean, I had an experience recently with a friend that when I got to hear his childhood stories and childhood traumas and how he was able to identify, all of these things to become a better person today. Right now, he's doing fantastically well. But when you get to see the journey, you understand it's a process. So, I mean, I feel like men are not really given a lot of credit, mostly when it comes to their achievements and the hurdles that they have to, go through. So I would like to ask you, Lynda, do you think men are celebrated enough?
Unfortunately, no, they're not. I mean, coming from a family where I have 3 brothers myself, I've, witnessed their struggles. I've witnessed their process up until, them getting to this point in time of their lives they're in. And I mean, as mature as I am now, I understand that men should be appreciated every day. Despite the fact that I would like to live a baby girl life, I would like to live the soft life, I would love to be taken care of. I think men should also be taken care of, because it only takes a man that's full of love, that's full of care, that's full of compassion to transfer same to you. And a lot goes into, I mean, what we women we want to get to that point is totally different from what men want, and I think theirs takes a lot. And so I feel like for those of them that have gotten to that point, they need to be appreciated. Come on.
Please.
I mean, when you see a father, let's not even get to being a father.
Right.
When you see a young man, I mean, you rightly said so, from secondary school, there's already pressure. I mean, I went to a boarding school, and when I was in JS3, because the boys at the time, they were becoming men gradually. I don't know where that pressure comes from to say, oh, you want to be seen to have a girlfriend. And then in secondary school, in SS1, and we see Valentine. I mean, You see Valentine gifts flying up and down. I'm like, how do you people get these things? Did you guys sneak out of school? Did someone have to buy it for you guys? And then there was now this competition amongst themselves. This was in secondary school. So you can imagine that the pressure has already started from that early stage, and they have to do whatever it is that needs to be done. They have to get these things done by all means necessary just to still be seen at that level, you know. So from secondary school, that's where it begins. Getting into the university, there's still so much pressure. You want to be seen to have a car, you want to be seen going to the best parties. Meanwhile, we girls were just chilled, we were just like, and I'm wondering why so much pressure? Whatever it is that they need to do, you find themselves already doing it. And then up until
but are you sure this is not just basic peer pressure that these guys are going through and putting in essence undue pressure on themselves?
So that's the thing.
So
what is
getting a car, having a girl, those are things that are not life and death things. They are not do or die affairs.
Yeah, but who will tell them?
Don't have them.
Who will tell them?
So then we now have to go to the role models.
Right.
Do they have the right role models giving them the right advice as they are growing up?
When you were in university, let's say there were a couple of guys that were coming at you. There's one guy that probably drives a very, you know how school is now, everybody wants to oppress. So there's this guy that is coming at you with a nice car, a Benz, you know, coming to pick you up from your hostel. Everybody's saying, nice car, this boyfriend is, you know, balling. And then there's this other guy who probably just takes keke, you know, around the school to come and take you to go and buy something. Tell me, who is the first person you would want to pay attention to? And this is not coming from, oh, I like him. This is coming from people around you plus you.
Okay, so
your first instinct, though.
I think I am so different. I actually think I am very different from the average girl. This is the truth.
Okay.
I've never been one to give too much attention to guys that want to buy things or show off money or things like that. I'm telling you, I give more attention to guys that would help me study. This is weird and cliche and might sound out of place, but I wasn't that girl. I had already started working before I got to university myself. So I'd already started earning money. So getting money or getting means or things from guys wasn't really that big to me.
But it's something that they still, so this is now you.
Yeah.
But these men, they see them. So even the guys that do not even have the means yet, they are working towards that means because they know that is what defines them.
Sure.
The means is what defines them as him, as a man. So they have to do extra, put themselves under extra pressure just to ensure that they actually have that money or rather that means to satisfy a woman and to make themselves happy.
I'm going to pull us back again to mentorship and parenting and how these boys are being taught. I actually think we as parents are focusing a bit too much on the girl child and not focusing on the boy child.
I agree.
Anything to do with his mental health, self-esteem, how he views himself shouldn't have to do with what he has in his pocket or in his wallet or the car he drives. He should be able to be secure in himself. The names of the people I remember from my class in Unilag are the guys that used to be in class and copy all the notes and be there and available to distribute notes to people that were not available in class that day. The ones that would send messages to others like, oh, there's a test coming tomorrow. Those are the guys' names I remember. I don't remember the guy that had the flashiest shirts. I don't remember the guy that, you know, was seen to be driving one fine girl away from the classroom. I don't remember them.
Sorry, so you're of the opinion that men are not under sort of some type of pressure, or some men actually are focused and they know what they want and they don't let the pressure affect them?
I feel like the pressure is them putting pressure on themselves. If there is maybe a young man watching right now and he feels, yes, he needs to have all this money, fine. If the girls that you like to go after need that, then you just found you've put yourself in a box to find that kind of girl.
So what are your thoughts, Lynda? Is it about pressure, or do you think that, you know, the guy is just, you know, trying to just make his life better?
I think he's just trying to make his life better, to be honest. Because I realize that sometimes these guys that put this pressure on themselves, it's not necessarily to attract girl. It's not necessarily to be so flashy. It's just because they've seen themselves as a man, and there's this thing that, okay, as a man, I have to hold my side. I have to do this. Then any other thing, okay, maybe friends, girls, or whatever it is that comes along the way, fine. But that pressure, it's already, and I'm saying this from my experience having 3 brothers, right? They just feel that need. because you never can tell when anybody would need you to stand up or show up and all that. So they have that pressure on themselves already. It's not necessarily because they want to oppress the boys or oppress the girls. They themselves, and like we rightly said earlier, we're still living in a male dominated society,
Yeah.
right? So just so that they would also still be seen as the men that are making things happen in the society, that ego, that chauvinistic thing about men, is what will still make them want to hustle to make sure that I still hold my side, or so that nobody can't tell me anything.
Yes.
Be it your guys, or be it your parents, or be it a woman, or whatever it is just still there as a man. So I don't totally agree.
Okay, so Lynda, when they say a man is attractive, how do you see it? Because I mean, there's Lynda, the young girl that was a smallie back then, and then there's Lynda now that has experienced life. So how do you see men as attractive? How do you describe that?
Okay, so the young me, right? An attractive man would be someone who's okay. So unfortunately, when I was much younger, I was mostly about the looks. Growing up, I was really smallish. I was tiny. You can, like my friend would say, if you just carry you, put inside my pocket, wrong, come out, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So growing up, I'd always thought an attractive man to me would be someone who's big, someone who has height, who's buff, who's standing by my side, who's kind of like my protector. That's an attractiveness for me. Someone who also speaks very well. Because I was about the looks. I was also about the way you speak, because then I was like, it can't be hard to speak English now. Present yourself well, talk well, let people know that you be Lynda guy, that kind of thing. So yeah, I was about the looks, about the way you speak. I was also about the means. I come from a very comfortable family, right? But I still expect that as your girl, me back then, you should be able to. If you come to my hostel and you carry me out, at least you should be able to buy me suya.
Right.
Do you understand? You should be able. We can't just be talking love from girls' hostel to wherever it is, and we're just talking. I mean, me back
because
then,
it was expected.
It was expected, me back then, and a couple of other things, right? But now that I have come to appreciate men, I've come to the fullness of what it means to be a woman and what it means to be, I think, to be a man. Most of those things don't really matter to me, because I feel like there is more. What's attractive to me right now is a man who listens and a man who cares. However, okay, not necessarily however you look or however you sound. Sound nice and look good. But for me, priority is that just care, have empathy, listen, be open to learning, be calm, be relaxed. Don't always feel the need to show and buga and just do that macho thing. There's more to life than that.
Right.
Just relax sometimes. Listen to me. I feel they make sense. Just relax. Let me buy you stuff. Let me take care of you. Don't always feel the need to show that so they'll now say that I don't know how to take care of you. No. We can collaborate, we can do things together, So just be caring, be listening, be attentive, and then be open to receiving love and care, to be honest.
Okay, so thank you so much, Lynda. I mean, this was very, very insightful. But Titi, please tell me, what is attractive to you then and now? Because I mean, one thing that I'm very certain about is that the Titi that we used to know back in the day, Titi Fanta. The Titi of those years, just tell me.
So the mindset I had then was that having an attractive guy would make you look good in pictures, because, you had to stand beside someone that complimented you, etc. But there was also a lot more for me because of the kind of male role model I had. Any man I could learn from could glean knowledge from, just fascinated me. People that knew things about different spaces, places, had traveled well. Those were more attractive to me than just the average guy. Yes, guys with six packs are great to look at. The nice fair skin, long hair. Long hair was a thing for me back then. You don't know, But in the end, it was all about what was up here. What sort of plans did you have for your future? What could I learn from you that would help my own future?
Right.
So that was it for me. I guess I'm different to the average girl, but man, once a guy could quote Shakespeare and give me some knowledge from some encyclopedias,
Okay.
I'm there. That's me.
Titi be like say you be lover girl.
How many books have you read?
Okay, so tell me, so that was then. So are you telling me that it's the same feeling now? Do you still how do you see men now?
Yeah, so now I think there's a balance.
Okay.
I still need to be able to learn from my man. I need to be able to work with my man and feel like I'm not the one feeding the relationship or feeding knowledge or opportunity or growth into the situation. So it has to sort of have a balance. But looks for me, yeah, my man is good. Yeah.
Right.
He's tall, he's dark, he's handsome.
Man.
But it wasn't about the looks for me. And he will probably even tell you
Right.
that I didn't even see his face the day we met. I didn't remember what he looked like. All I remember was the color of his shirt. But the conversations and the way we started building our friendship from that moment is what made me even look at his face.
Yes,
So that was it. That was it for me.
It's luscious. That's why you just look at he's cute too. But for you, that means you're psychosexual.
He's
you're
fine
attracted to the mind first before you now look at the body.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like this angle. I have another question, and this is because for me, I believe that we are more allies than enemies because it seems like there's this battle between the female and male. Oh, men have to do this.
It's crazy.
So for me, I feel like we're allies and we can do this together. I believe that the woman has the softness that comes with being feminine. And the man also have the hardness that comes with being a man. That, you have to be tough. You have to protect. You have to. So for me, I feel like the responsibility that they have to wear, or rather the hats that they have to wear all the time, I feel like it's exhausting. And I've had conversations with men that have opened up to me to say they are exhausted, always trying to be on guard, always trying to be a man, like be a man. Be a man it seems like for me, it's now an attack as far as I'm concerned. Because when you say be a man, how else am I going to be? I'm a man. I'm acting like I should act. But there's this societal, thing that's common that you have to be, a certain type of way. You have to be mean. You have to be tough. So for me, that really avoids men from being who they are. And it doesn't allow them express or feel, whatever it is. So as a woman, Lynda, I want you to tell me, how would you make a man feel good on his worst day? On the day that he doesn't feel enough? On a day that he feels like, I can't do this anymore? How are you going to make this man feel?
Okay, so the first thing would be even to get a man to a point where he can actually feel vulnerable with me. With me or with anybody else. Or better still, with someone you can feel safe with, right? And then when of course I get him to that point where he can feel vulnerable, I think I'm just going to sit him down and just listen to him.
Right.
Just without saying a word, without trying to act as a therapist, coach, or whatever it is, just pour it all out. If you need to cry, you cry. If you need to, and then of course, because I'm your safe place, that quote and unquote your secret is safe with me. Because most guys don't like their stuff going out there. So people will not know that, you spoke with a woman or this one down. No problem. Just sit down. Just talk to me. I'm here. Anything. I may not understand it though, but I just want you to pour it all out. In the event that I understand what you're saying, or in the event that I have something reasonable to say, or even if you ask me, then I can now say something.
Right.
But I just want men to get to the point where it's okay to talk. It's okay to just pour it all out. Because I've had an experience, right, where someone just took out a lot of things on me, and it was much later I realized that he was going through stuff. And all you'd have just said was just tell me, just explain yourself, or explain the matter, or explain the situation. I'm not a witch. I'm not a devil. Just talk, and there's a power in talking.
Of course.
And people don't know that. You just always feel the need to buff up, be a man, be a man, be a man. That's how you just explode. Just say what's on your mind. Find a safe place. It can be your sister.
Okay.
It can be your mom. It can be anybody. Just talk. So for me, I think I'll just make sure that I'm a safe place for that person, and then just let him know that he can talk and just.
So Lynda, thank you very much. I mean, you made a lot of points there that I mean, I'm excited that you mentioned vulnerability. So Titi, I want to ask you, based on vulnerability, how can a woman create a safe place to make a man, find it easy to just come and talk to this person, come and talk to you, come and relay all the issues that you have, even though there's fear and all of that, but how can you create a safe place?
Well, first of all, there are different places that a man is coming from, different backgrounds, different cultures, different parentage, different educational backgrounds. You need to be able to understand this man. You have to understand who this man actually is. And of course, let's not even forget the fact that you need to express the sort of relationship you have with this person, because the man you're talking about now could be a brother,
Right.
could be a friend, just a platonic friend. Creating a safe space is not easy to do. But if you have a full understanding of who this person is, you will know that they are most at peace when they're watching football, or maybe when they have a new device, or maybe if they're playing PlayStation or PS5 or whatever it is. And find the right moment to maybe share some vulnerability of your own, and then hopefully the man will reciprocate. But men, in my opinion, probably haven't been doing that based on past experience they've had with women, or mothers or sisters who constantly judge them on their decisions. Now, I know I've also been guilty of this.
Right.
Playing the "I told you so" card a lot. Now, sometimes the "I told you so" is important, but not all the time.
Yeah.
And it does sort of, in my opinion, emasculate the average man. But sometimes, man, you have to just say it. It feels so good to say, "I told you, I told you," but not all the time. If you do it too much, the chances are this man is not going to come back to you with anything,
go back into hiding.
unless he has a very high self-esteem. And the average guy, sadly, might not have a high level of self-esteem to work with. When a man begins to speak, be quiet. Wait. Let him finish. Try not to just respond to everything like it's an attack. And then there's something I've said a few times, that, look, I'm on your team. I'm your person. I have no reason to wish you unwell or evil. Feel free with me.
I mean,
like, I don't know why, but and sadly, I think there are some women who have really done some guys dirty.
Yes, too much. And then it just for me, what I'm unhappy about that aspect of life, which is a reality that we have to experience, is that I don't know if you've heard of hurt people hurt others.
Yeah.
So it's like a cycle of pain and a cycle of hurt. And that's why I am very happy about, communicating and speaking about how to be self-aware. Because you as an individual, you're fighting for yourself, right? We came to this world alone, we'll live alone. So which means that you have to pay attention to you. You have to pay attention to the things that make you a distinct human being, because we have different people. So you have to be yourself.
Yeah.
You have to be aware. You have to own yourself. And this basically helps you to, understand the dynamics of being with your mother, or being with your wife, or being with your girlfriend. So I appreciate the fact that you talked about vulnerability, you talked about safe place. And for me, I want the world to normalize being able to have certain conversations. You mentioned listening. You mentioned, making him feel like, okay, I don't know it all. So even if I've warned you or told you about it before, I'm not going to say I told you so. Because a lot of time it's hard for him to open up to tell you. But now he's telling you, and you're supposed to give him that peace and that comfort.
Yeah.
Titi, you wanted to quickly say
so I wanted to say, this is not to say that women are not also going through issues.
Yes, it is.
And women actually do have a tough time.
Yes.
I don't know the guys y'all be hanging out with. They must be very nice guys, because there are some evil mofos out there.
Yes, I agree.
And there are some guys that have sort of made it their duty to just
show girls pepper.
Yeah,
and go see shaggy.
And these women are also reacting and responding based on those experiences.
But these men most of these men are doing this based on what they experience.
So it's a cycle
Exactly.
That's what I said.
you
Hurt
said.
people, hurt
hurts-
people. I think let's just, like you rightly said, we're not competitors, we're allies. Oh, I see a guy doing a good job. Oh man, well done. I
Yeah.
love you, babe. You see me too doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm taking care of the kids. It's my job as a woman. I nurture. I take care of kids. I take care of things. It shouldn't be a big deal,
Right.
but you should acknowledge me when I am doing it, despite the fact
Because
that
we
it is
all
my
have our
job.
duties.
Same way as a man,
This one
you're
should be
taking
recorded.
responsibility of the family, you're providing, you're the provider, you're the main provider. I shouldn't be thanking you, but for me to acknowledge or make you feel good, I go ahead to thank you. So I thank you for your own, you thank me for my own, and everyone is happy. There's no
competition.
There's no competition,
But I still feel like men have it easier than women do. The day I see a guy fully carry children full term, 9 months, enter that room, push them out.
Right. It's not gonna happen.
I heard of a
Exactly.
story of a guy online actually ask why he had to pay for an epidural, and the woman was begging for a painkiller while bringing your children forth, and you're saying why, and he had the means to pay for it.
He's just a
And
very
he just
terrible
in-
guy. No,
And
it's just a
but
very
that's the
mean
thing, he
human
didn't.
being.
But you can't actually call him a terrible guy. It's just someone who doesn't understand
Like,
that pain.
why?
He doesn't understand that responsibility, that strength. You know what? He God
For a being to
The-
come out of your
Exactly. So I know that it might sound like I'm getting cliche or sentimental about the fact that every time of the month I'm still supposed to show up at work, even though the kind of pain that women go through during that time, men cannot handle half of it.
They are not built
If they
for
have a
it.
headache half as much as that pain, they are leaving the office.
So the thing is, they are not built for it. They
Right.
cannot handle it. They're not designed. They were not created to handle any of those things. So I feel like men have what they are built to handle.
Right.
We have what we ourselves were built to handle. I am built to handle birth. The way they have created me internally and externally gives me that capacity. But a man cannot, regardless of how ever he wants to look at it.
Right.
So the same way he cannot handle birth pains, pregnancy, PMS, and everything. There are some of the things that he's also going through, whatever it is that goes on in a man's physiology and biology that I myself I cannot handle. Do you understand?
True.
Both physiologically and psychologically, I cannot handle it. So men should be men. And women should be women, and let there just be peace. To be honest,
I
Men
mean,
should be men, women should be women.
but it's the
Yeah.
truth because I mean, with the way we have
because
actually
we can't continue this conversation of who's doing better, who's having it.
Yes.
First of all, the ground rules, foundational. It's a man's world.
right.
Go ahead. It's your world. People should just carry it and put it on your head. Get out. It's none of my business.
Right.
Me, my own. I'm a woman.
Mhm.
Treat me nicely if you can. If you
Right.
cannot, shall leave me. Do you understand? I know that I'm existing in a man's world. However, I will do my best to coexist with you peacefully.
Right.
Don't stress me and I won't stress you. I have my own challenges.
But guess what?
You
They
have
are
your own
stressing
challenges.
us now.
The
These
same
same
way-
men are stressing
The
us.
same
But
way
you
we
know
are
that we
always
are-
stressing
exactly.
in
They are
some
stressing
way.
us.
We are actually stressing men too.
How are we stressing men?
We are stressing men
We
in
have
a
our
lot of
ways.
The same-
ways.
We have our ways of
You
stressing
mentioned
them.
earlier that as they were growing up, they realized they needed means, they needed car, they were doing it for something or someone
Right.
to show off to the women. The women are now saying, yes, bring it.
But you know, it's because
We
of
love
what they
it.
it's because
The
of what
money,
they think
this,
is right.
that.
That's what they think they should do. Because that's what the
he's saying is-
society has told them that is normal to do.
So why are we giving them extra flowers? I'm not saying don't give them flowers. Extra flowers for doing what they are supposed to do.
So here's the
No,
thing.
you're saying
They are
extra
supposed-
flowers.
extra.
So what's the flower?
What is the
What's
extra?
fair
They've been
flower?
given flowers.
Which
Okay.
is what?
Okay, so if an average guy is caught cheating,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Hello, what happens next? Not much. He's a guy now. Allow him. He has stress. He has pressure. And he was working hard throughout the week. His wife wasn't ready to receive him at home. And don't allow. He's a guy. Hello, excuse me. Why would you allow that just because he's a guy?
Right. So
Excuse me.
The society
So,
is what the
yes.
society has actually allowed.
So there are stressors on women. The same woman that went out 5 a.m. in the morning, comes back 9 p.m. after doing Third Mainland Bridge traffic of 3 hours, ends up entering the kitchen, finding out that maybe there's some ingredients she needs. She asks hubby, oh, please, we need eggs for that meal. I need it. He's not even interested. He's watching the match.
Okay, you know
he
what?
doesn't care.
I want to scatter one table now.
I'm happy for this.
Do you
Let's
understand?
go.
I want to scatter
I'm here
one
for it.
table now.
Let's scatter table.
And this is a very, very, very unpopular opinion.
Right.
Now, this woman, right? This woman you have just painted,
Described,
you have
yes.
just described.
Mhm.
Do you know that there are some women that ordinarily should not even be going through that quote and unquote stress?
Mm.
So they have a man whose sole responsibility is to be that provider,
Right.
right? And he has given that opportunity, or he's available to be that provider. But we women, we still feel the extra need or extra pressure to say, okay, you know what? I still want to work so I can have my own money. So I can do this for myself. I can do this for my family. I can do this. If you don't do it, you will not die.
Right.
If you do it, you will still not die. In the events where, and I'm using myself here as an example. Like I said from the beginning, I like to live soft life, baby girl life. I didn't come to this life to suffer. I didn't come to this life to drag anything with any man or with any woman.
Yeah.
If on a particular day or in a period of time, right, I'm beginning to feel overly stressed because I'm trying to make this money. I'm trying to. Meanwhile, I have someone that, if you like, use it to abuse me later. Or if you like, don't use it. I have someone that has means, or at that point in time can provide for me. Why don't I just take advantage of it rather than just killing myself or stressing myself? It's not permanent. It's not a long-term thing, right? But if at that point in time, I just want to calm down.
Yeah, you just want to chill.
I just
you just
want to
relax.
chill. I just want to.
So I'm hearing everything you're saying, but I'm
why
also
don't I just
saying
take advantage of
there
it?
are seasons to this wealth and affluence, and there are seasons where that man will need you to back him up, especially financially.
Without a doubt.
And if that woman is not prepared to do so, what happens? The woman ends up blaming the guy, blaming his family, blaming his ancestors.
Oh no, so that's why I
abusing
said
him.
that problem.
That's
It
why I
becomes
said
shit because
it's
she's
not a
not
permanent
prepared.
situation. It's not a permanent scenario.
I mean,
it might just be a phase, right?
Right.
So it's just like I mean, you just finished your your monthly cycle and everything, or even while you're at it. I mean, as a woman, your parents didn't send you to school to come out to be a liability to anybody. You still have to fend for yourself. You still have to make some money. What I'm saying is, if there are moments where you just can't handle it at that time, there's no need. And especially if you have someone to support you at that time. And it goes back to men. So it goes back to what we're saying about men as well. If my man feels there's a lot of pressure on him at that time it's not forever. And I feel like I'm capable of stepping in for him. As a man, why wouldn't I just do that?
And so but if you've already given that man so much power, and I'm going to use the term power, as to say he's the only source of your livelihood at that point in time, by saying, oh, I don't want to be doing this traffic. There are some women that want to live the soft life. Yes.
Right.
But you've given so much authority and power to this other individual. Yes, he is the head of the home. We get it. But the second tables turn around, that same mental health you were trying to protect from all the stressors of the outside world, God forbid, end up being in your personal space.
So don't get me wrong.
Because he will just eventually feel like, you know what, no matter what, everything I say goes, which is fine. You have no control over even onto what you want to cook in your kitchen. Everything is going to be dependent on him. And you're not going to be able to have your own freedom in your own space. Now, it depends on the sort of mindset you have as a woman. But for someone that was educated, your parents sent you to school, you now decide, oh, you're not going to work with it. You rather just sit.
No. So I think we're saying two different things here. What I'm saying exactly is temporarily. And for example, if in a month or even in 6 months or where I already have a job, or better still, I already have a business I'm running. I hold my side, right? He too has his own. But there are moments, maybe this particular month or maybe next month, or there are just times, and this is a temporal situation. There's just a particular moment, maybe just a particular day or just a particular week that, you know what, I just don't feel like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't take anything away from me. it doesn't take away the fact that I'm still, holding my side. Let me put it that
Mhm.
way. It doesn't take away the fact that I still have a job that I'm going back to. It still
Right.
doesn't take away the fact that I still have a business that I'm running. All I'm saying is, if I have a season, a day, a week, half a day, whatever it is, that I just don't feel like doing anything and I just want to be vulnerable, I just want somebody to be rubbing my head, take advantage of it, enjoy the moment, and when you're done, you move on.
So,
If at the end
so
of the
this
day
is
you
where
want
I'll
to
now
use it to
say
abuse
yes,
me,
give the
then
men their flowers.
That's your problem.
Give them their flowers. Why? Because they can't take a day. They can't take a week. They can't take a month off.
Thank you so much. So I would like to know from the guys behind the camera, do you think that, men are being appreciated well enough? I mean, I'm throwing this to my director, sir, at the back over there.
No. In a nutshell, no.
Ooh.
In a nutshell, no. So you're not appreciated well enough. I mean, tell us.
Look. I mean, who is behind the camera now? Men.
Wow.
So we're going to edit this.
Oh my
Wow.
god. Okay, you know what? In order for us to just be because the truth of the matter is, like I mentioned earlier, we have noticed that men are now allies. Whether we agree or not. Of course, we have different types of men. We have the men that have given you good experiences and the men that have given you bad experiences that have shaped your life, right? But Titi and Lynda have shared their very, very interesting experiences and their insights on whether you would like to be a man or not to be a man. And today we have been able to address all of those conversations and been able to drag you in here to make you put more attention to men. Let's give them their flowers. Honestly, I am here. I am pro men. Like I said in the beginning of this podcast, I love men, and it's because men have shaped my life in different aspects. Men have, helped us to become better women.
I'm rolling my eyes.
But we know, right, that men has helped us to become better women. So, I mean, with everything we've discussed right from the beginning of the show till now, I want you to tell me, would you still come as a man? Would you like to come as a man?
Yes, so I would.
Still the same
I wouldn't
answer.
have to wear high heels or put on this hot wig. I was about to pull it off, but you look at your nails. Look, guys are chilling now. All they have to do is go to the barber, spend maybe 500 naira, and then they're done. I beg.
So you're still not going for it. Okay,
I
Lynda.
would love to be a guy coming back.
Okay, Lynda, still.
No?
Still coming back as a baby girl.
I mean, you've all heard this. We've spoken as women, right? But you know very well that men actually need their flowers. And we're actually here to actually give men their flowers because we both have a different place on earth.
Yeah.
We have our different responsibility. Thank you so much, Titi. Thank you so much, Lynda. It is amazing to have you on the episodes of the Psych of Tinz. I believe that we've been able to touch base on this conversation. I mean, it's great to know that you wouldn't want to be a man. You want to be a baby girl, enjoying soft life. And based on Titi's view and experience, she doesn't mind being a man or coming back as a man because she understands the benefit that comes with being a man. So, I mean, everybody watching this, I need you to understand that there's no right or wrong, right? But what we are just trying to say is, despite everything going on in the world, a woman was the one that gave birth to a man, right? Which basically means that we are a very huge and important part of a man's life. And what we do is help the man get better in different areas. I believe we should give men their flowers. We need to make them understand that we see them. We see you. We love you. We want you to be better. We want you to be better for us. Because what happens is that when we have a strong masculine man leading us and doing the things that he should do based on the responsibility that comes with the man, it's easy to have a soft and feminine woman that would, support you. And then at the end of the day, we know that we both need to help each other to become better, right? To be or not to be a man. And I would like to hear your comments. I'd like to know what you think. Please send us a message, follow us on social media. Thank you so much for watching. I am Alex Boyo, and this is the Psych of Things POT. See you next time.